Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to talk today real quick about communication. It's such a simple idea, and yet it's the number one complaint that the Real Estate Commission gets every year is poor communication from the client's agent. So it's an important thing to talk about, and I just wanted to kind of touch on some points, give you something to think about when it comes to communication. So the first thing is ask your clients how they want to be communicated with. That should be one of the first questions. It goes out in a questionnaire to your buyers and sellers very early in the process. Establish how they want to be communicated with and respect that. If they don't want to be called, don't call them. All right, so that's number one. 1A is for you to set expectations with the client on how you plan to communicate with them. For example, with a listing, how often are you going to communicate with them? Is it going to be after every showing? Is it going to be once a week? So that kind of goes into play with how they want to be communicated with, and you guys need to set that expectation very early in the process. Another thing is when a client reaches out to you, with our cell phones, we get emails instantly, almost anywhere that we are, and we're not always in a position to adequately respond to what the client's request was. But it's important that you go ahead and reply back and let them know, hey, I got your message, working on it, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That way they know that you got the email, they know that you care about the response and that they inquired about something, and you've set the expectation that you're going to get back to them at some later point. So when you get that email, don't just leave it as unread in your inbox because you don't have all the answers yet. It's going to take you a couple of days. The last thing you want is a couple of days to go by on an email. People are expecting instant responses these days. So to the best of your ability, that kind of goes into delivering a great customer experience. So keep that in mind. Another thing I'll say is don't make a client reach out to you for an update. Be proactive, reach out to them. If it's taken a long time to get a response to an offer that you've made, you have to realize that the client is sitting on pins and needles waiting for some kind of an update. So be proactive, reach out to them. It's awful when a client has to reach out to you and says, hey, hadn't heard anything in a while, just wanted to see what was going on. So try to be proactive there. Another thing that we'll tell clients, or I used to tell clients, is I'm going to over communicate with you because I would rather annoy you by communicating too much than not communicate enough and make you think that I don't care about your transaction or your home or what's going on with your process. So it's okay to over communicate that. Over communicate with your clients, and I would tell them that up front. Say we have our modus operandi is to over communicate during this process. If at any point you want us to tailor that to your specific needs, just let us know. So that's kind of how I would approach that. Another thing is using automated technology to touch your clients, and that's great. Things like the Collaboration Center in Paragon. It's fantastic because it's going to send out those updates. They're getting something from you almost on a daily basis. But don't let that completely replace your personal touch throughout the process. Things like markets with low inventory, where they're not getting those email updates every day because listings aren't hitting the market. That's one situation where those automated touches, clients are often not getting communicated with as often as they should. Another one is new construction, because it feels like you don't have a lot to do during that process. Well, don't let a new construction deal leave you not communicating with the client for months on end just because it's a 6 or 9 month build time. You need to have weekly communication with your clients throughout that process. Another example might be a long escrow period. If you have a 90-day closing, you get past inspections and appraisal, you're just kind of sitting on your hands, but it's important to make sure that you're communicating with your client on a weekly basis. So communication is key during all stages of a transaction, both before and after the closing. So the last thing I'll say is just remember this. So this is just some perspective. We get pulled in a million different directions in our lives, right? Being a real estate agent, we always have tons of things going on. We have tons of transactions at different points in the process. But to each client, they only have one thing going on: their house, the house they're selling, the house they're buying, the house they're looking for. So for them, they need that constant communication to know that you are plugged in and involved in their transaction. This goes into creating an amazing customer experience. So Just remember, communication is key. I think that's all I got for you right now. If you ever want to talk about this or float some ideas on how to communicate with clients or how to keep things going during a new construction process, I'm happy to mastermind that with you. Just give me a shout. All right, talk to you guys later.